Welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel, everyone. This is Rich making another video on XRP today, as usual. So wherever you are in this vast planet, I hope you're all having a nice day today. We are going to discuss XRP. This is the one-day chart once more. Right now, the price is $3.14. In fact, XRP fell slightly below $3 earlier today. Many people now predict that XRP will drop considerably further before the blast-off occurs. I will discuss that further in a moment. Additionally, Bitcoin is currently trading at $118,000. And we continue to follow Bitcoin for the most part. At the moment, the charts for Bitcoin and XRP appear to be extremely similar. Additionally, the dominance of Bitcoin is beginning to decline once more. Some others claim that this was the final push-up before everything started to go south. Additionally, Bitcoin has one more run-up. I continue to believe that it will be difficult to surpass $130,000 no matter where that run-up goes. It won't reach $150K, according to certain folks I see. We will have to wait and see. If Bitcoin reached that level, it would be fantastic because it would lead the rest of the market to follow suit, and alt season would begin. Crypto breakout watch. XRP's run to $5.50 might be triggered by a $3.25 spike. Thus, two distinct situations are depicted here. One indicates that before we begin to rise again, XRP will drop below $3 and reach about $2.80. That is also evident in the second one. The blast off after the dive, that is what I would anticipate happening. XRP typically experiences a dip before abruptly beginning a reversal and rapidly rising. That might therefore come to pass. I look at it either way. There's no need to worry about this decrease. As for XRP, everything is still on pace. People claim that the previous season was cancelled. Yes, that was XRP's peak. It's all bullshit. The old season hasn't even arrived yet, and XRP is going to have an incredible run. That is still something we are awaiting. XRP claims that this XRP decline is only a copy break. As previously said, XRP is currently enjoying a lull before its next surge, which is expected to set a new record high. Many individuals spend between $4 and $5. According to others, it might surpass $5.50 prior to the subsequent decline. After that, there will be an even higher move up. We must observe how things unfold. I'm also anticipating the release of some of these triggers for XRP, because XRP might move as a result. Perhaps XRP will then usher in the alt season. Once more, here we go. To support the price of Bitcoin, Tether created $2 billion USDT out of thin air in just 1 minute. And because Tether is making money again, people are suddenly feeling optimistic about Bitcoin once more. Bitcoin is created as soon as Tether mints that Tether. After that, the price of Bitcoin either levels off or begins its subsequent upward trend. But each time the market declines, we witness it. This cannot be sustained. There is no actual value in this. The co-founder of Ripple dumps at the top. When XRP got close to local highs, a wallet associated with Chris Larsen transferred 50 million XRP, worth $175 million, to exchanges. He is now being accused of dumping on retail by the crypto community. Was this the cause of the most recent XRP decline? And as soon as I saw this, I thought it was FUD. It's not FUD, according to some individuals. They don't know if he sold or if he simply relocated the XRP, but it's true. Others claim that due to the recent decline in XRP's price, there is a big FUD effort going on. We're not entirely sure. There isn't any concrete proof that he sold. Until that occurs, it is just conjecture. And XRP was usually followed by FUD. I claimed in yesterday's video that Bitcoin maxes were constantly terrified of XRP. People were paid 5 Bitcoins to FUD XRP, according to XRP dev. According to Matt Hamilton, individuals were given 5 Bitcoins to accuse XRP of being centralized and fraudulent in the early days of Bitcoin talks. The anti-XRP narrative was created in this way. Fake FUD, actual harm. Additionally, Bitcoin was being used to pay people. I'm curious as to whether any of them kept it till it hit extremely high price points. However, because they saw XRP as direct competition for Bitcoin, they had to constantly spread false information about it. And the reason for this is that Bitcoin served as the beta test currency. XRP is authentic. Bitcoin is not scalable. When it comes down to it, it will never be used for payments at all. The only thing that will keep it relevant after it loses its relevance is if you can transact in it using something like the XRP ledger. I continue to anticipate that BlackRock will eventually declare their intention to begin tokenizing Bitcoin. Eventually that day will arrive. According to billionaire Mike Novogratz, Ethereum might surpass Bitcoin in the upcoming months. They are now considering the possibility that Ethereum will outperform Bitcoin in this run. And what's fantastic about that? In this run, XRP is already surpassing Ethereum and Bitcoin. Once more, they are discussing the potential for Bitcoin to hit $150,000. It will be quite difficult for Bitcoin to reach that price. In my opinion, I believe there will be a significant sell-off. Many people are already liquidating their Bitcoin holdings, elder bag holders that have held since the beginning of Bitcoin's existence. Additionally, I believe that people are selling because the perception of Bitcoin has evolved. Replace the US money with Bitcoin, because it's always been anti-government. The Bitcoin maxis of today are suddenly supporting the government, and I believe that the original creators decided it was time to pay out big because they had had enough. In regards to futures, the SEC will assess the xrp spot XRP ETF shortly. The big players are direct. If it happens, it might affect the course of events, and I agree with they will have to admit that they need to investigate this XRP ETF more thoroughly. It seems to always be delayed while you're waiting for a major event or the next spark to occur. Here I anticipate the same outcome. Additionally, it seems like nothing ever occurs on the day that a date is added. When I tell XRP salty lads that if they don't have enough stacked, they're done, they become upset. This is from King Valax, and I have to talk about it. Listen to this clip regarding your financial structure, and I'll tell you right now that you're going to be left in the dust if you haven't piled your XRP and XLM in your H-bar. Why am I aware of this? Due to my affiliation with the financial systems, specifically the future privatized central banking systems. This was the work we were supposed to do. This program has been in place for decades, not just a few months or years. Decades have been spent working on it. Give that figure decades to settle in. I concur. Although Ripple has been in business for 10 years, this individual is the same one who advised you to hold 10,000 XRP. King Valax insists that you must have 50,000 XRP on hand. They're both completely incorrect, in my opinion. If you're willing to keep onto your 1,000 XRP for a sufficient amount of time, I believe it will be sufficient. The majority of people will be lucky if they can afford 100 XRP in the coming year, if not next year. Consider that. Within the next 12 months, the majority of individuals will be priced out. Utility will arrive. Adoption by institutions is imminent. ETFs are on the horizon. The case is coming to a finish. For this cryptocurrency, everything is going just as planned. Don't worry about the amount of XRP you own. These folks are already wealthy. They have no idea to whom they are speaking. They have no idea who their audience is. The majority are members of the working class. They are trying to make ends meet by working 9-to-5 jobs. Additionally, they purchase a tiny bit more XRP each time they receive a small amount of money. And for that reason, I mentioned that you need to have a solid strategy in order to generate passive income and continue reinvesting perhaps 10% to 20% of that revenue back into cryptocurrency. You will eventually achieve financial independence. Additionally, there's a very significant potential that if you had $1,000 worth of XRP, it may be worth $50,000 during this run. Right now, I see a lot of individuals demanding $50 XRP. Who knows? Perhaps we are able to meet the higher price points that the true moon guys demand. More than $100 for XRP. Your 1,000 XRP suddenly has a $100,000 value. Additionally, it's simple to keep 10xing something in the cryptocurrency space. People are often saying things like, I need to find that next 100x or that next 1,000x. However, it's simpler to keep 10xing your money when you have it. You take 10,000 and multiply it by 10 to get 100,000. You double that 100,000 by 10 to get 1 million, and so forth. Affluent people keep getting affluent in this way. However, it will begin with passive income and cryptocurrency that can change people's lives. You shouldn't worry about how much you're holding. Invest in anything you can afford. You're already ahead of many others if you own XRP. The majority of people, have no idea what XRP is. Speak to anyone who isn't involved with crypto. They don't understand what you're discussing. When you discuss cryptocurrency, the majority of them immediately ask, oh, are you talking about Bitcoin? You might occasionally run into that one Ethereum man who understands what Ethereum is. However, 99% of people are unaware of what XRP is. Additionally, Jake Claver states that one only needs 2435 tokens to join the top 10% of XRP holders globally.